Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. It's always fun when we have this particular guest stop by the program.
Yep. From Cinema Crespodiso, from a podcast network that is getting bigger and bigger by the day.
PFT Media.
Yep. Cinema. Well, I already said that. Chris Crespo.
Hey, guys.
It's Cinnamon Bun Crisp.
I was grabbing this mic here in my
Cinnamon
hand, and I had another mic in front of me. I'm totally combobulated.
Some would say he's made of sticks and stones. What is it? Snails and puppy dogs. What is it?
Sticks and stones.
What are
and
little boys?
biscuit scones.
Like little girls are made of what is it?
Of
Sugar
cinnamon,
and spice
sugar.
and everything nice. And boys are made of frogs and snails and puppy dog tails.
Is that it?
Something like that, yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Makes sense. I mean, it's science.
You disgusting.
Puppy dog tails.
You know, you get every single one of those puppy dog tails you brought into the lobby, and you get the F out of our studio, and
They
you never
stink.
come back.
I know they do smell. I've had them for a while. I'm sorry.
Throw one of them at Etchy.
Chris does do something that I wish
He's a good man.
I can do.
He
which-
falls into the Jim Phillips gentleman or the Steve Kramer gentleman category when
Although
he does
Steve
this.
doesn't do this either.
No. Anything Steven brings us is trash.
Oh my goodness.
He'll bring us one Christmas
Yeah,
gift
he
and the
brought
stuff he
us-
found around his
He
office.
brought a dusty cowboy,
Yeah, a cowboy
dusty
hat.
hats he bought, and then he proclaims that he's mad that I threw his gift in the trash, and I did. And then he, for Christmas, he's like, I brought you some Ship to Shore, the company.
His
that he had.
company, yeah.
Now, I love that
way
stuff.
that he-
Here's a fun fact that Steven doesn't know. The grapefruit body wash is my daughter's absolute favorite body wash. Like, she uses it every night. She loves it. So I'm a hero because I brought that home to her. But don't think that we don't know that you just had your wife, your sweet, loving wife, go in the back room and put together a gift bag. You didn't do that.
Of surplus items.
He has 25 assistants.
It's like if I showed up with all my spare PFT shirts, like, hey guys, I brought you
Yeah,
a present
yeah.
of all the stuff I couldn't sell.
By the way, I do that for my relatives on Christmas. And it's
I do
real
that too.
cheesy.
A real bummer.
I email Eric, our merch guy. I go, send me one of everything. I gotta get people I don't even care about some gifts.
And my
Tom and Dan. It looks great.
Yeah.
my mom.
I'm like, don't listen to the show.
My mom's
Please
like,
don't.
Uncle Carl, like, can you get Uncle Carl a hoodie, a BDM hoodie? I was like, I'm like, he doesn't want it. He's a real man.
Medium hoodie, that's $35, dude. Don't be doing that.
That's what I was thinking. That's thick.
I
it's
take
heavy.
the cheap stuff. I take pop sockets and stupid cruise pens.
Those green diner shirts that everyone has.
He's a real man who teaches on, like, he owns a AC company, like a small AC company down south, and he teaches like AC students, like the trade or whatever, in like some trade class at the local school, and then he wears it, and the students are like, "What's BDM?" Like, and then he has like, "Don't do that to my uncle." Get him
I'm sure
a nice
he can
Nautica.
afford his own hoodie. He doesn't need a free BDM one,
But
right?
my mom is like, "Can I have a BDM hoodie?"
You know what it is? It's the grifting.
I know. My whole family.
She's grifting, yeah.
And I'm like, he don't want that anyway. So, Chris,
My mom left the back of her car open and backed out of the garage and peeled the entire back of her car off.
Oh yeah, you told me about.
Yeah, that's fun. Then she pulled over the side of the road, puked on the side of the road, and lost her dog for a couple hours.
Oh man,
Things are going great.
Wow.
So,
Sounds good.
Yeah. Caught her house on fire.
how's it going, Chris?
Pretty good. My house isn't on fire. Fortunately, not
That's
yet.
good.
But doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm hanging in there. We had a PFT event that went okay. Recess Pizza popped up there and sold a bunch of pizzas. They were
Nice.
delicious. We had Will's Pub getting us drunk. It was a lot of fun.
Beautiful. So let's talk about movies. Let's jump into it. We don't do this as often as we should. I know that I think we'd have to talk about this. I mean, a lot of movie theaters, if not all of them in China, are shut down right now. So how does that affect movies being made, movies going to market?
It is affecting release dates. James Bond, No Time to Die, got pushed from April to November, and that's because the reason they say is because they want to wait for theaters to reopen in China, because that's the second biggest market in the world.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's because now they have a good excuse to tinker with it for another 8 months and go back to post-production and edit the movie more. Because movies are never completed. They're just abandoned by the time the release date comes around. So I guarantee
They're like, it's good enough.
Yeah, exactly. We have to put it out. We're out of time. I mean, the Cats
that's
movie
what we
that
do
came
in
out.
BDM events.
That's what
It's here.
That's what I do with my shows. Like, I got to record this. Let's put it out. When
Yeah.
Cats came out, the effects were never completed. They even put out a patch. Like, it came out on Friday, and then on Saturday, theaters uploaded downloaded a patch to the movie to fix a bunch of effects that were not completed because the effects people were still working on the movie while it was out in theaters.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Yes, and that's like how 90% of movies get made, right up until the last second there.
So
That's
nowadays,
nerve wracking.
It's crazy, yeah.
do all movie theaters just upload
Yep.
the movie?
All
Okay.
movies now, they had to convert to digital. This was going back to 2009 when Avatar was coming out. That forced theaters to convert over to digital because James Cameron was about to put out the biggest movie ever. Everyone knew it, and they wanted to be able to carry the movie. So now they all have projectors, and you just download a film from like a central server, and every now and then you get fun mix-ups where like Guardians of the Galaxy, there's some random theater that accidentally downloaded Rise of the Guardians, which is like a holiday-themed animated movie. So there was like a news story about a bunch of people sitting down to watch the latest Marvel joint, and it's some like 15 it's like the wrong movie. Stuff like that happens every
It's
now and
amazing
then.
to me that they don't check that stuff, but
Because they've got a minimum wage teenagers
Sure. Right.
doing
Yeah,
these downloads.
that hate their job and
Yeah,
could care less.
the projectionist is a dead profession. There's like almost no projectionists out there because that used to be a professional job that took a skill to do. Now it's download and play. Get out of here. Half the time, I'm surprised they even remember to turn off the lights in the theater. I got to go out there and find someone like, hey, the lights are still on in 8. Do you mind turning those off so I can see the screen? It's crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, their whole thing is the least employees we could have, the better.
Yes.
Less overhead for me. So if
I
everything
always
can
thought
run-
that would eventually happen. I always thought
Yeah.
that eventually you would have completely automated movie theaters.
Sure.
Yeah. I bet you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
sure. I mean, why not? I already get my
Vending
ticket with
machines-
an app. You know, I have the Regal Unlimited app, so I get my ticket there. At the person at the front, they scan it with their phone, so it's just another device. It's a device talking to another device, and then I go find my theater. Like, I don't need a person at any point.
Yeah.
If
Right.
they can do food concessions without people, you know, there's vending machines out there. We have these Amazon cashierless stores that are open that they're working on. I mean, yeah, let's get the people out of the equation. No one needs incomes
Yeah.
anymore. Everyone can stay
Well,
home,
what
just
about-
watch movies.
There is the handicap person that tears your ticket and tells you where to go. I
Yeah.
mean, that,
Well, now
that's
they're-
a job that person can do, and they're like it's like bag boy and certain
Yeah.
simple jobs.
But now
and-
those people aren't even tearing tickets anymore. Now they're holding devices that are like scanning your phone. Tickets are Q codes now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
So you could technically do that like without any arms. So maybe it's an
Yeah.
easier job.
It is, yeah. Give them like some sort of Google Glass situation. You can just do it with your eyes.
Set the scanner there, and their job is to
Yeah, like a fast pass at Disney or something. Yeah.
Yeah, just make
hold
sure-
your ticket up. If it lights up, all right, you're good to go.
yeah, or else they'll say, "Stop! Stop that man!"
Help!
Think about the amount of jobs that corporations will take away just because a robot or simple technology will
Yeah,
take it over.
automation.
Although there are people in society that would like jobs and a way to make a living and are hindered by their disability or whatever, they literally all
Should have
they
been a
could
robot,
do,
dude.
all they could do is tear tickets or whatever. So there's got
Yeah.
to be some sort of solution to those, to help these people. But anyway,
They don't have uniforms really anymore. Like the whole the regalia that there was of the whole movie experience has been dumbed down to basically it's just as trashy as anything else, right?
Yeah, because it used to be
Regular
ushers
polo. Yeah.
with jackets and ties
A
and a
fancier,
fez hat.
yeah. Yeah.
Now it's a black polo that says Regal on it. It's got like a butter stain over here that they can't get out from that fake
Everything's
oil.
eventually does that, right? And I was talking to my wife about this because if you have a kid, arguably you have to go to Olive Garden. It's just like a rite of passage, at least in our household. It's like I always said I'll never do that. Well, I was wrong. You go there because you know your kid will eat. It's fast. But I remember, and I think movie theaters are kind of like this, where the Olive Garden at one time when it rolled out originally,
fancy,
it was fancy.
Italiano.
Yeah, it was literally one step away from eating on the non lockdown streets of Italy.
Yeah. Tony Soprano.
Yeah, and so I remember it being fancy, but then as time goes on, now it's a joke. It's a punchline, right?
Yeah.
Movie theaters are kind of like that. Airline, like flying on a plane.
Yeah.
It's everything eventually becomes commonplace, and then it becomes more casual, and then we move on, right?
They tried to make them fancier by the theater by me. They renovated it, so they took out all the old seats from the 90s and they put in big plush leather seats with the button that makes the leg go up so you
Oh,
can
that's nice.
recline. And it's
Yeah.
very nice. But people are trashy,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they'll put their legs up and then they'll take their shoes off and got their bare feet stinking up right next to you. I'm like, I don't
Oh,
want to look at your feet. I'm trying to watch a movie. I'm trying to watch Quentin Tarantino film some feet. I don't look at your feet for real life. It's BS.
I
don't take your
Popcorn
shoes
wedged
off.
in all the leather chairs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
people
like the
trash
leather
it.
chairs.
Yeah.
I'm okay with just a standard, slightly uncomfortable movie chair.
Like a cloth. Just
yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't need a lazy boy. I don't need Vibra features. I don't need a
There are theaters.
fold-out desk.
There are theaters that have chairs that are like the first class Lufthansa seats where they like recline completely and they give you a blanket. It's like a nap room. It's not
Yeah.
even a movie theater
Yeah.
anymore. It's crazy.
Why don't they shoot the movie onto the ceiling
I'd
and you
love
can
that.
and you can lay fully like laid out?
just lay on your back, straight up on your back?
Yeah.
See how many people die of sleep apnea during Avatar 2?
So let's go over the Oscars, because did we have you in after the Oscars?
No.
So I don't think we had a chance to talk about
Mm-hmm.
like the winner of Best Picture, and because I never watch, I have a problem with subtitles for obvious reasons. Although
I don't think anybody really. I mean, they'll tolerate it, but I don't know people that like.
prefer it.
Yeah, you like it better?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
God.
but the alternative is, what's the alternative? Dubbing?
I hate that.
I
too.
mean,
Dubbing's the
how about
worst.
just watching a movie that's in your own language?
Because
Well, then
everybody.
you miss out on
because
really
it
great
sounds so many
films.
amazing movies.
Yeah, you might, but I'm just
Even when it's
saying.
in English, I have captions on now. I'm that lady now. I'm
That's
that
actually-
old lady.
Really?
Yeah.
It helps me, especially when I'm at home, because I'm on my phone, I'm watching TV, that I can look up and I catch up real quick.
That
on what
would
I'm
get in
missing.
the way of me seeing the whole movie. I feel like.
I will say though,
My eyes can move pretty fast.
I said I put off watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon for the longest time because of subtitles.
Stupid words.
And
Oh, that's a
then-
great movie.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, it's fine." I think because it's more of the art and the visual.
Sure.
And the subtitles. So it's not like long dialogue. Like if it was like Quentin Tarantino style movie where you just had to read the subtitles, it may be way harder. And that's what leads me to talk about Parasite, which I've been putting off to watch because I think you can watch it on demand right now.
It's on demand now, and it will be streaming on Hulu in April. So people who have Hulu can just wait till April.
Nice.
But when I say on demand, you have to buy it for $20.
Or you can rent it for $5.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
rent it?
renting's
I rented
like,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
$5. Yeah.
So, how is Parasite? Is it like Crouching Tiger in the fact that there's not that much dialogue to read
No,
through?
it's a dialogue-heavy movie.
Okay.
It's a dark comedy / drama / thriller / class warfare film. That movie it's like,
got a lot of elements.
yeah, it's wild. It's got like 6 genres smashed together and done so expertly. So when the movie takes a turn, it's surprising, but you're like, whoa, like this is working. So there is a lot of talking, but language is so important in this movie, and it would ruin it to watch it in like a dubbing or anything, because like it is about a poor family and a rich family, and the members of the rich family, part of the thing is they're hiring an English tutor for their kid, and then the mom, she wants to show her English proficiency, sort
Right.
of. So like every 15 words, she drops an English word in her speech, and it sounds so awkward. And then I heard an interview with someone, with a Korean person talking about the movie, and he said like that's such a very specific thing that people do in South Korea, using English words to show that they know some of the language. It's like a class thing. It's like in Japan when people walk around with Starbucks cups, and then they fill it up with other drinks because they want people to think they're always drinking a Starbucks drink, because it's the status.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like I can afford the
Yeah,
Starbucks.
so she's using the random English words as like a status symbol to show how much better she is than other people.
It's like my fake Burberry handbag.
Yes, it's like my fake Coco Chanel belt that I have.
Yeah.
The C's are facing in the wrong direction, but no one ever notices. The dubbing then, no, not the dubbing, the subtitling then is throughout the movie. It's not like it's going to take a 10-minute break for a kung fu action sequence on the
Okay.
treetops a la Crouching Tiger.
Oh,
But I think the movie is so good that it'll just suck you in, and you won't even, after 20 minutes, I don't even think you'll notice that you're reading subtitles. Then you're just watching a movie, and that's just the way it is.
Cool.
I mean, it is fantastic. Now, here's the thing. So it wins Best Picture, right? I loved the movie when I first saw it, but now that it won Best Picture, Best Director, Best International, and Best Screenplay, now people are watching it like, well, let's see what all the hubbub is about. Oh, is this really Best Picture? That type of thing. Now
Right.
people are coming at it with
Preconceived,
expectations. Yeah. And then they watch it like, I don't see why that should have won Best Picture, blah, blah. When you shouldn't be watching it with that standard. Just watch the movie for what it is, regardless of whatever awards it won or it didn't win. Because now you're coming at it with unnecessary expectations that you wouldn't have had a few
I wonder
months
if
ago
they can
anyway.
hurt a movie like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean, I wonder if there are any other movies that have been released, maybe secretly or surprisingly win a lot of awards, and then the amount of
then the backlash,
scrutiny, the amount of of heat that they get, almost ruins a really wonderful and good thing.
Well, people now, no one likes The King's Speech, even though that won Best Picture. No one really likes The Artist. Everyone hates Shakespeare in Love. These are all movies that didn't make that much money, won, and then people came at it afterwards. They're like, these movies are terrible.
Well, going into any movie, expecting it to be good will hurt it. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I go to movies hoping that they'll be good. Like, I want this movie to entertain me, but making movies is hard, y'all. And, like, the fact that anyone can come together with all this money, with all these people, make a movie from start to finish, put out in theaters, that in itself is an impressive feat. Now, the movie's actually, you want it to actually be good on top of all that, man, you are asking for the world. It's ridiculous.
And so telling someone, like, hey, you got to go see this, it's the best movie, it's just going to ruin it for that person.
It's the best movie of 2019. It's like, well, my favorite movie was Fast and Furious 9, so is it going to be better than that? Well, I don't know.
And it's all subjective.
Yeah, exactly. It's art, man.
Let me ask you this. If I'm going to watch a movie, Parasite or 1917, because I've been wanting to see that.
Personally, I'd say Parasite just because I like 1917 a lot.
Okay.
I think you missed out on a big part of it by not seeing it in the theater.
Yeah,
because
it is kind of a theater movie.
It's a theater movie because it's so big, and the approach of the fake one take type thing, it works so good on a big screen. You might lose a little bit of that.
TV's pretty big.
No.
Yeah, but it's not 20 feet though.
It's a large set.
Yeah.
You still got the 28-inch Zenith, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the warm glow of the
It's a tube, but it's flat tube.
Yeah.
So it's.
I like when you turn on, it's just warm.
I say that a lot to people. I'm like, it's a tube, it's a flat tube. It'll get there. Just keep watching it.
That flat front tube, it built it into the wall, so it looks like a flat TV, but it's actually 4 feet behind
the old
the
fish
plastic.
tank.
Yeah,
everybody wanted that. Yeah.
Exactly.
TV
I would say
tank.
1917 is really good, but it's also kind of doesn't say anything, or it doesn't say anything that other war movies haven't already said. Like, war is bad, guys. We send the young to die, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it doesn't do anything really surprising thematically. It just looks great.
Is it in the same? Like, I'll put this in the category of stunt, in the fact that the movie was filmed as if it was one continuous shot the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's impressive, and that weighs into the overall...
it becomes the purpose of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even about the story anymore. It's about the
you're like,
the
wow.
gimmick.
Yeah,
which is great. It looks great. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But if you were going to say, I'm only going to watch one movie and I'll never watch the other one, I'd be like, 1917 is very good, but you're missing out on a movie that's actually saying something with Parasite.
While I agree with you, I think because of Tom, his taste, I think he would like 1917 better.
Oh, so now you're taking the
I know what you're
subjectivity
saying.
into what
He can't read.
He's a one take Johnny.
A lot of things go boom in 1917.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of like you sitting in the passenger seat and the driver's like, where should we go to eat? And be like, he likes McDonald's. I know what that
Happy
means.
meal.
But honestly, though, you couldn't go.
He doesn't
wrong.
like the apple slices.
Oh man, when they give you that caramel though, then it's good. You can't go wrong with anything that was nominated though, for the most part. I mean, I think even Ford v Ferrari, which surprised some people being nominated, is still a really good movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a lot of fun. I mean, I like all the movies that were nominated. So
let's talk about Ford v Ferrari. Is that a good movie for someone, even if they don't or not into cars?
It's 100% a dad movie. So if you're into dad stuff, whether you like cars or not, then you'll like it, because it's just about two dudes getting together and we're gonna beat Ferrari. We're gonna solve a problem, and they jostle each other, like they give each other crap, but then they're friends. It's 100% for dads.
The history of that, I know, like Corolla did a documentary about this whole thing, like 24-hour war, and like I think another one that had loosely related to that. But the story is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's really happened. So it's cool that they made a movie out of it. But the fact that it's based on true events makes it better.
And it looks really good. James Mangold's a good director. Christian Bale and Matt Damon are good actors. So they're fun to watch. And all the racing stuff looks really, really good too. And then to recreate that track, that 24-hour track, it doesn't exist the way it did back in 67 or 69, whenever the story takes place. So they had to like shoot race sequences in 5 or 6 different places around the world. And then stitch them all together. And then when you watch the movie, you can't tell. It looks like it's just one long racetrack.
That's
crazy. It's very, very cool. Yeah.
What are some other movies that were nominated for Best Picture?
Let me see. There was.
I haven't seen any of that. Daniel, you haven't seen any of these, right?
I'm trying to think, because sometimes I'll snag one occasionally.
Parasite,
No, didn't see
Ford v
Parasite.
Ferrari.
That one I was the most interested in. Was the Ford v Ferrari,
which was
because I like
1917
cars.
nominated too?
1917 was
was.
nominated. 1917 was in Vegas, the odds-on favorite to win.
Really?
Yeah. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had the second best odds, and then Parasite was like a 6-1 or something. But then the reason why Parasite won is because of preferential voting, because the way they do it, it's like a runoff vote. Whatever nominee, so to speak, gets the 50% of the vote first wins. So Parasite was probably number 2 on a lot of ballots. So that's why it ends up winning, because 1917 and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood split a lot of number 1 votes, and then those drop a lot further. And then now that it's been a month, it's do you have the list in front of you? Because
so
I can't
Little
think of all the
Women
ones. Oh,
was
Little
also
Women,
on
which is
there.
really good. I really like
yeah.
that.
What
I heard good things
never-
about that.
It's a 7th adaptation of that book from like the 1880s.
I mean, the
or
book's
something.
been around for forever,
Yeah.
and I can remember like my wife, and I think even I had to read it back in high school.
And then they did the 90s one with Winona Ryder,
Yep,
I believe.
Is it about like women's rights and something?
How have you never heard of Little Women?
It's more along it's more of like
Oh,
a
no.
independence.
There's
struggle of
I've
a
literally-
family.
Yeah, it's
of-
about a family. The dad is gone at war, and it's about one girl who's like, she wants to be a more modern woman, especially in 1880s. What does that mean? And then another one of her sisters is like, I have no options. I need to marry rich if I want to have a comfortable life. It's a very interesting little character study about these young girls at this time, and it's a really good movie.
And you got the Joker, of course.
Right, Joker.
I saw that. I saw that.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah,
you didn't like it as much as I thought you would. But
Well, it was underwhelming and kind of like, like the performance, great.
Sure.
The visual artistry of it, great. Like all around it, like a great movie. As far as like you want to put in the category of best picture, I definitely would agree with that. Although
It also made like $1 billion, so I think of all the movies that maybe made the most money.
Probably.
and they're
Yeah.
already saying they're going to do something else with Joker.
They're throwing it out there just because of the amount of money. They're
Sure.
saying they're open to it. Yeah, but
like Joaquin Phoenix did such a great job that it's almost like a little bit of a bummer. Like you're just kind of like I don't
movie
want to
is
watch that mental illness.
the movie is a
Yeah,
bummer.
it
Yeah,
is.
the
It
movie is
is.
100% a stone cold bummer. When it was over, I was like, that didn't make me feel great.
Yeah. You're just
Yeah.
kind of like, ooh, that was really like you peered
That was a
into
rough
mental
watch.
illness,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, ooh.
And not just looking at mental illness too. It's also a movie in which look at a guy with mental illness, and then also this movie's gonna say, and you're part of the problem because you don't treat
Right.
other people around you nicely. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I'm a jerk. That's my bad,
yeah.
Joker. I created the Joker. That's my fault.
I didn't get anything out of it. I was just like, you're crazy. You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Crazy person.
You deserve
Get
to be
him.
crazy.
You also
He's got a
got,
gun and he's crazy. Beat him to death. Get him.
you also have the
Get
Irishman.
him. Get him.
Irishman.
in there.
Irishman was my favorite
him,
movie
Batman.
of last year.
I still
actually.
haven't watched that yet.
It's long. It's long.
That's
but
why. That's one of the reasons I haven't watched
Yeah.
I
it.
yell that with every movie at the end. I yell, get him, Batman.
This guy's crazy.
I yelled at
Get him,
Little
Batman.
Women. Yeah.
One I watched recently, Jojo Rabbit, was
Yeah.
on the list.
Oh.
Kill that rabbit, Batman.
Which one?
Stop that Hitler rabbit. Good.
Jojo Rabbit won Best Adapted Screenplay, which was interesting.
Right, and
Yeah.
then
They're
Marriage
all Nazis,
Story.
Batman. I knew it the whole time.
Stomp on Batman.
Marriage Story is the last one.
And then Marriage
Which
Story.
I also
Never get
watched.
married, Batman. You say the bachelor you are.
That also can go in the category of great movie, great acting, but man, it's a bummer.
It's a bummer when it's over. It's like, oh, that was a divorce.
that is
for
that
sure.
is a sad ride.
That's a family that's broken apart.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
I feel like when's the last movie that won Best Picture that was like uplifting, entertaining, fun?
Like Sound of Music.
The thing is, I'm saying, like, go through the like.
Because
list
let me
of-
see, like the last few, Shape of Water does have a positive ending, but that's the
It makes you
lady
feel
has sex with the fish
Ew,
monster.
fish man, kill it, Batman. Just stop his gills.
Yeah, there's that. Moonlight one before that. That is not an uplifting movie.
Yeah.
That's a tough drama.
Shoot his tap, shoot his Batman. Is that the one?
Put a batarang
No, that's
around.
La La Land. That's close though.
yeah,
That's the
well,
same year.
I don't know.
That's adjacent. Same
old
year.
crap.
That was the year where Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway, they got the envelopes mixed up, and they announced La La Land won,
right.
but really Moonlight won. They gave her the best actress.
They should have just blamed it on
envelope.
Steve Harvey and ran off.
Yeah,
Didn't he do
Steve
that
Harvey
again?
tweeted like that wasn't me this time. Or
He
something
did it
like that.
again, I think. There was a...
You're right. They're all pretty bummers.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Going all the way back.
So you got like Green Book,
Yeah,
kind of racist.
Yeah.
The Shape of Water, Moonlight, Spotlight.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
the church molesty.
Birdman.
Oh,
Birdman's
yeah.
not uplifting.
Oh, Birdman.
It's not a bummer, but it's
then
not
before
uplifting.
that, 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
Hollywood loves
Then
a
you
slave
got
movie.
Argo, The Artist.
Argo has a positive ending. It's like, we
Yeah.
got the guys out.
Yeah.
That's sort of
You're
feel
right.
good-ish.
That out of
That's
all of
the
them,
Hurt
closest.
Locker,
That is-
Slumdog Millionaire, No Country for Old Men.
Slumdog Millionaire.
is
There you
good,
go.
yes.
That's your last. That's your actual for real. That is a feel
2008.
good movie.
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah.
We don't want to feel good anymore.
Cyclically, that's probably right. It's probably close to like a 15 to 20 year swing.
Well,
So
think
we're
about-
almost time for an
well,
uplifting feel good.
yeah,
Well-
we're in queue for it.
All right.
Two
I
thou-
can go for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
during 2008, it's basically the
Oh,
recession.
financial crisis.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
financial.
sure.
So we probably needed that. Is like because all of this
Oh,
is the,
socioeconomically, we shape it. Yeah.
is
That's
the,
true.
The vibe of the country has to.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's why.
influence the art.
That's why in the 70s, the 1970s became known for really great dark movies that are filled with paranoia and dread because just the culture at the time was bad.
Yeah.
Post-Nixon, the oil embargoes, the economies were
I've
collapsing.
never heard of Post Nixon. I've heard of Post Malone.
Post Malone's got to get it from somewhere. And so same thing's happening now where like things are bad and everyone's depressed. A lot of our movies are about just like Joker, about bad people and society being bad and treating the world poorly, treating animals poorly. You know, a lot of like animal rights stuff are being snuck into movies because that's what we're doing to each other.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and it's we have to lash out somehow. We have to react to it somehow.
Speaking of that,
I want to get back to the good movies like Chicken Run.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
like Gone with the Wind.
we're gonna take a break, but before we take the break, what's that movie that like, a bunch of people are mad about? I saw the trailer to it when I was watching Sling. Like,
People are always mad.
where they people are like hunting
The Hunt.
conservative. The Hunt.
The Hunt, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that now?
Man, that
they're
one was
hunting
wild.
a bunch of like
So
It
right
looks like
wing-
the Ice-T movie.
Yeah.
Surviving the Game.
Yeah, where he's a homeless man.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
This has been done for
I love that movie.
decades.
Gary
Well-
Busey, John C. McGinley. Oh, so good.
But it's
Rutger
also-
Hauer, rest in peace.
It's also the same premise as if you what is it? The,
Purge?
Not Purge,
Sort
but
of a little bit of Purge.
Well,
Sprinkle some
it's
Purge.
sort of
Humming-
Battle Royale, Hunger
Hummingbird.
Games.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, Hunger Games, Battle Royale.
It's all the most dangerous game,
Player
which is from like
Unknown,
the
Fortnite.
1890s or something, about a guy who a ship of people crashes on an island, and then the guy who's there, Count Zorlock, he hunts them, and that's the whole movie. The whole book is hunting man is the most dangerous game, and then that's just been turned into movies over and over and over and over.
And this one is like you put a bunch of people and you give them weapons and let them go.
Well, apparently in
kill each
this
other.
one, controversy stemmed from last year where the trailers came out, and in the trailer it looked like it was about a bunch of people who got kidnapped, put onto some sort of game preserve, and they're being hunted. And then it turns out, we're all from like red states. We're a bunch of Republicans, and it's a bunch of Democrats that are hunting us. And then the movie was scheduled to come out. It just happened. Poor timing. Good old America. We had 3 mass shootings in like the week and a half before The Hunt was scheduled to come out.
Oh,
So then the right-wing media really latched onto it because they loved the phony outrage, and they drummed up enough noise to get The Hunt postponed. And when Blumhouse postponed it, they're like, look, we're not going to cancel this movie. It's not never coming out. We're just going to postpone it until things calm down, which is now apparently, because the movie's coming out on the 16th. And now the trailers have everything flipped. Instead of the trailers being like it's a bunch of Republicans being hunted, they go, yeah, that's what's happening, but it's also because all these
crazy
liberals
Democrats
are crazy bad people, and then they're also hinting at like Jennifer Garner isn't no Hillary Swank's in it, and she keeps saying something like, you think we're hunting people for sport? Like the new marketing is 100% in reaction to the controversy from last year, saying the movie that you thought it's not that movie at all. So it's really weird, actually.
It's also crazy that people are getting mad about anything. It's
Oh
like
my
a stupid
God.
Well,
movie.
they're mad about everything, is
Oh,
what
yeah.
you mean.
Well, I mean, the
But
things
the
you get
movie-
mad about,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's the thing that they chose to.
And it's a
yeah.
cheesy horror movie because it looks
Yeah.
like it's a
It's like a
low
$5
budget-
million Blumhouse movie. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they make cheap movies that turn huge profits.
Yeah.
and if they're bad and if it don't make any money, then you can forget about them and move on to the next
Yeah,
one.
they'll
All
just
they had to
move
do
on.
was forget about this movie, ignore it, and it would have gone away.
It's just like a way better trauma, in my opinion.
Yes,
You
they're
know?
like Roger Corman is out
Yeah.
there, just funding young people, giving them just
And
enough money
occasionally they
need.
hit a really fun. They hit it out of the park with a super fun movie.
Yeah, every now
But
and then they
there's some
accidentally
stinkers
make a
and-
real hit. And then they also produced a Halloween remake, so that's like their
Yeah.
foray into big budget filmmaking.
Well, you
It
gotta
only
have-
cost them like $15 million, I think, to make.
You got to have something to prop you up, right?
Well, yeah, it's for the long haul,
Sure.
and so they're doing the Halloween sequels as well, and then that'll help them keep funding their Truth or Dares, Fantasy Island that just came out and bombed. All these movies are like they just crank them out every other month. It's a new Blumhouse. Have you seen those Happy Death Day ones?
Yeah.
Those
I
are
saw the
fun.
first one,
I saw the
yeah.
first one,
Yeah,
and they
they're
put out the
all right.
sequel. They cranked out that sequel because that
They're
movie made
terrible,
money.
but they're all right.
They're entertaining. They don't have to be good to be entertaining.
Yeah, I just saw The Invisible Man. Oh, man.
That one's getting surprisingly mixed reviews. I enjoyed it, but a lot of people
It was
don't like
okay.
it. Yeah.
We could talk about that. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
We'll come
Quick
back
break.
with more A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan right after this. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here, and our good friend Chris Crespo from the Cinema Crespodiso podcast is on the program. We're talking movies. What did you wanted to delve into something before the break, and now I'm blanking on it. I apologize.
Well, I saw this movie. Every once in a while, I'll be like, "Oh, what's movies out?" By the way, this is what movies out? The dumb old man.
That's me every day.
I wanted to ask you about is okay. So a long time ago, this has changed.
Long time ago.
And this is kind of falls into our calendar. Like, it's hard for me to change my behavior, or like once I fall into like this is how I got things done. I'm like a classic old man, right?
Yeah. You've got your workflow.
Set in your ways.
I'm like, this is how I know if new movies are out, and this is what
I call the movie phone.
Oh, poor movie phone.
and I can't change. So I used to go on like Flickster or
I think it's Fandango owns
Yep.
Flickster, right?
yeah.
Flickster. Wow.
And
know.
I go on the Flickster app, and then
You're a Rotten Tomatoes man. I know you are.
well, it has
It's
a Rotten
integrated
Tomatoes,
into it, yeah, because
score.
the same company owns everything
They've
now.
integrated the tomatoes?
Yeah. So, and then there's
What a time to be
accusations that they
alive.
would want to inflate the tomato scores to encourage people to buy tickets for movies.
Don't inflate my tomatoes.
Exactly.
And then there was box office and at home, and then to find out what was coming out. And then in my mind, movies still come out on Tuesday. I don't think that's the case anymore. But
I don't think so either.
But every Tuesday, I think that the new movie's out. So I go.
Well, like it used to be, music came out on Tuesdays too.
Yeah,
Video
yeah.
games came out on Wednesday. No, everybody does whatever they want.
Yeah, now it's just, I don't think there's a set day anymore, right? Yeah, stuff just comes out
You can
whenever.
release whenever you'd like.
Yeah. And so
What date looks good to you?
But again, I can't get away from this thing I used to do, and I'm
Sure.
stuck on it. So I go in there, I click on at home, and then I'm looking, and then I make sure to change it to at home instead of coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's on, and then I start scrolling through what's out, but it doesn't seem like I'm like, what? I've never even heard of these things, and it seems like this is not the way to find out what new movies are out on at home
Because you're probably getting a lot of like direct-to-video stuff.
some are coming soon still. I'm like, wait a minute, it's supposed to be like, and then when I go and check, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, it's available, not for rent though, it's available to buy, so it's $20 instead of like $5.99.
Because they'll do a thing where like for a few weeks before it's available to purchase physically and to rent physically, they will put it out digitally for like 2 weeks, and then that'll be an inflated price for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So because you're getting like early access, and then it'll drop down when it comes out on all the other
Gotcha. So
avenues.
the new business models like put it out early, but for $20, and
Yeah.
then drop it down to $5.99 or whatever. So anyway, very confusing for this old man.
Yeah, I mean, I
like-
think maybe just going to Amazon Prime, maybe searching there for
like-
movies to rent, and then seeing what's coming soon there. But then even then,
Go
it's
to,
like, how does it separate?
Redbox.com.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Generally,
to
though,
7-Eleven.
maybe because Redbox they'll jump on whatever's available for rent. They want it to be available on their service, and they are going to focus on bigger movies, so you won't have to sift through a lot of junk to get to the bigger movies you're looking for. That may be a generally good idea. Just switch over
Look
to
at that.
Redbox.
The one guy that doesn't watch movies. I'm the best at movieing.
So anyway, so I did this the other day, and I landed on, and then I look at the Rotten Tomato score, and if it's high,
I never look at that anymore because it's like I'm already injecting a bad idea.
Yeah, you're
It's
you're
also
setting
not
yourself up.
accurate, I don't think, because again, movies are so subjective. Something that got like, because I think The Invisible Man got like really high.
It got in like this
reviews.
almost 80%, 70%.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it got pretty
and
solid
I was
reviews.
like, that was not worth.
It got good enough reviews that then in my Crespodiso Facebook group, when people started posting that they didn't like it, I was like, oh, this is surprising. Like I thought it was. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was well reviewed, but a lot of people are like, nah, I'm not really liking it too much. So,
Weird.
Okay, it is. That happens though.
To me, it's not by any means a guarantee that the movie's good, but at least it's one more vet.
Yeah,
I
sure.
gotcha. I
Tells me if
understand.
I'm like, okay,
You can like safely avoid things that are like 12%.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's no way, there's
Unless
no movie.
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah,
right,
unless
right.
you're like, I'm a Transformers fan, no matter what. I don't care what
Yeah.
the score is. I'm gonna go see this Transformers.
I had to
movie.
start doing that with music. You know, like I'd buy CDs and then the whatever publication, maybe they had an axe to grind with some dumb band and they're like
Sure.
2 stars. I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just gonna listen to
And
it.
see if I like it.
Yeah, and then I'll go back and see the reviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's all-
whatever.
it's all about your
But I
personal reaction
understand
to
why
it.
you do it. I mean, because you also have limited time.
Yes.
To watch a movie, so you got to kind of speed up the curation process.
And when you have
right?
to choose between 10, 12, 15 movies that are available.
You got to speed it up.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
this movie popped out because also I look at the tomato score, a tomato meter score, and the audience score.
Also, I don't like dealing with that because I feel like we're talking like this is baby talk.
Yeah, it is.
You know, like I don't want to talk about, oh, it's rotten, it's fully fresh.
Fresh,
I mean,
rotten.
just give me is it good or not?
So the tomatoes meter got 86 and the audience score 85. So usually,
close.
sometimes when like top critics give it high and audience give it low, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's too artsy. You know, like,
Which just happened with the movie I saw called The Assistant, which is a really low budget movie about a girl who just shows up to work one day for a Harvey Weinstein-like movie mogul and works in his office. You never see the guy really, but she has to deal with all these microaggressions throughout the day. A really well-made little character study that, to be perfectly honest, is kind of boring. But the reason why I saw it was because it has a very high Rotten Tomato score. And then the audience score was like 10%. I was like, whoa, audiences hate this thing. I have to see it.
Yeah.
It must be great. And it's not great. It's
well,
actually
because all the
kinda boring.
critics were probably afraid to even score it low because then they're gonna be like, what are you not with the?
No,
you know,
not
like,
necessarily,
right,
because it is well made. It's just when it's over, it's like, yeah, that doesn't really. It says something, but not that much. And it's also, it is like sort of light when it's all over. So it's you can't say it's bad because it's not. To be honest, but it's also like not great. So then when you have it's a case of probably 8 out of 10 critics were all said, yeah, it's fine. So then you have an 80% score where people are like, oh my goodness, look at the
Gotcha.
high
That's
score
good.
of this
Gotcha,
thing.
yeah.
But really, if you look at the average rating, everyone's like, yeah, it's actually more of like a 6 out of 10 type
But
of movie.
I do bet that happens with a lot of critics where they're literally afraid to score something low because their peers will be like, "What do you mean?" Like,
It
There
happens.
are critic circles.
It
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
with votes in our government. Why wouldn't it happen if you were a movie critic? Of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
it would.
Yeah, people pressure each other about their opinions and their votes.
you don't want to be the odd man out if ever
course.
you're like,
Or
I-
some people
Maybe you're
get off on that. And they
blacklisted.
want to be the odd man out and be like, oh, everyone likes this movie, well, I'm going to dislike it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's this critic called, his name is Armand White. He's a New York film critic, and he is known for being a professional contrarian. If it's well reviewed and everyone likes it, he hates it. And if no one likes it, he loves it. He thinks it's the best movie of the year.
although that's not even a true
That's
testament
my
to
daughter
your-
with anything that comes out of my mouth.
because then it's like, well, you're not actually judging it on your own merit of what you judge as good. You're just
being a contrarian.
Yeah, and that doesn't tell me anything about the anyway.
Exactly.
So this movie, The Way Back,
With
old
Ben Affleck, yeah.
Now here, I was
Is
like,
it the way back or the way back? Like, how are they? What is this about?
You have to find the way back.
like, okay,
Yeah.
It's not like a dance. Like, do the way back.
Do the way
it's
back.
more like this is the way back.
And,
Okay.
and it's not Sylvester Stallone's protein supplement, The Way Back, where you get back into shape with his whey protein.
Way back.
Wait, it's time for The Way Back.
so basically, it's a 2-sentence or 1-sentence description of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is a troubled man struggles with alcoholism while coaching the basketball team at his old high school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically it. So
Oh, this sounds
Okay, why would you want to?
miserable.
Why would you want to watch basically what you're living?
It's Flight Meet Hoosiers is what it is.
also,
He flies the basketball team upside down. It's wild.
I can't. Now I don't know. I haven't watched the movie. Maybe I
did.
I heard it's good.
But can
pretty
you
good.
buy Affleck as a former basketball player? That's my only thing.
They do have him at the very end, like taking a shot on a basketball court, and it goes in. I was like, I wonder how many times they shot. Yeah, it's pretty good form.
Oh, is he doing the? I hate that. The
or you get a
cliche
basketball
of the,
coach
is it-
for a week.
Is it him just talking with like either the love interest or some patriarch that will like give him some sort of tome of wisdom, and they're both in the gym alone? I hate that.
No, well, I'll tell you. Do I buy him as a former basketball star? Really, he's a high school basketball star, and he is 6'4". So
Yeah,
I
he's a
guess
tall guy.
I guess I could buy that. What I really
a
do,
point guard.
what I do buy him as is a bloated alcoholic, which is
Right, exactly.
which
He's
is what
done that.
He's playing in this
If you
movie.
take the basketball thing out, it's just his life.
It's just him playing a bloated alcoholic dealing with putting his life back together and all the people he's hurting around him, and because he made the movie while he was in his most recent recovery period, like a year and a half ago, and all this stuff was very fresh to him. He's good in it because he's just, essentially doing what he knows at that point, which is hurting himself, hurting others, and then trying not to. It's like that Shia LaBeouf movie, Honey Boy, where he made it because he had to. At that point, it was the only thing he could do.
Right.
And then it comes out amazing because he knows it so intimately. Ben Affleck obviously knows this character very intimately, and it comes across in the movie. It's one of his better performances. I mean, he cries, I think, twice, maybe 3 times.
No.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this Ben Affleck crying.
So would you suggest me watch it?
Like at home when it comes out on when you click over at home on Flickster and you see it finally pop up, then you can watch it.
Out of all the movies you could watch, that's the one, the alcoholic basketball coach.
I hadn't even heard of that one
Really?
until just now.
I mean, there's so many fun movies to watch.
Which
That's the
ones?
one
Tell me.
Did you watch Jojo Rabbit?
No.
You should watch that one.
But is it on demand?
You can rent
I
it
think
on
that-
Amazon.
Yeah,
you
I
watched
think almost everything.
20 or $5?
$5.
$5.
$4.99.
I think all the Best Picture
I like
nominees are now available, at least to rent. Like Ford v Ferrari should be available to rent.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, for like
Have you
$5.
watched Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd?
Yes.
Yes, I have,
With
sir.
starring
Okay.
Rob
And I
Schneider.
love it.
Okay, I'm
What?
thinking of other. Have
Rob
you
Schneider hides in a
watched-
spaghetti robot at one point.
Have you watched? What was the one with the Yahoo Serious? and
Young Einstein.
Young Einstein.
Yes,
No,
where he
no.
invents rock and roll.
Yeah.
Not.
No?
Okay.
Yeah,
Have you
that's
watched
good.
Back to the Future 3, Cowboy?
Yeah, Back to the Future Part 3, Cowboy Bebop.
I did see a picture of Michael J. Fox and what's his name, Doc,
Christopher Lloyd?
Doc Brown?
together, and they're like, "Look at back together." And I was like,
Oh,
"Whoa!"
it's always sad when they do that.
And of course, you're old. You're old. That's what happens.
Yeah,
I'm old.
but Lloyd is old.
But yeah, they are, and even Michael nowadays.
He's got to be
like-
in his 50s now, late 50s
Oh,
maybe.
no. He's going to be almost 60.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And Christopher Lloyd's in his 80s. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's 81 and like 56, maybe.
Michael J. Fox, 58 years old.
50.
Yeah,
There
he's
There we
almost
go.
60.
That
So-
old man.
So speaking
Blech,
of
doing it.
gross.
okay, there's a movie that it's gotten horrible scores, but I'm interested in it because I was a big fan of Jesus Rolls.
Totoro. Yeah, the Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's getting some bummer reviews.
Yeah. So have you watched
I don't know
that?
No, it's not. I don't think it's available wide yet. I don't know what the release plan
know why
is
they
for
did
it.
that.
But
Oh.
well, okay, I'll tell you why they did it. The Jesus character that John Turturro does in The Big Lebowski is his character. He invented that character. He did it before Lebowski was a thing. And then he was friends with the Coens and worked with them, and they decided together that this character would be used in this movie. And then afterwards, he wanted to do something else with the character, and the Coens like, yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, it's your guy. Do whatever you want. So this movie is like made with the Coens' blessing, even though they really didn't have anything to do with it. It's all Turturro wrote it, directed it, and people were very, very excited. The trailer came out, people were excited, and then it started getting some screenings, and all that excitement, poof, puff of smoke went away because it apparently is not good.
Yeah, it got better
I
11%.
kind of want to watch it.
I can't wait to watch it now. When a movie gets like reviews like that, like everyone dislikes it, I have to see it. Like Cats, I had to see Cats at that point. Like this
How
thing's
is
gonna
Cats?
be, it's horrifying. It's nightmare fuel. It is one of the weirdest, bizarrest, craziest movies I've ever
love
seen in a
that.
theater, and I'm glad that I saw it. I'm very glad I saw it. So, and I recommend people, get those syringes that you can get like a True Leave or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got like 800 milligrams. In
No,
it.
the whole thing.
Yeah, at least.
Take
Yeah,
yourself to Cat Town.
Yeah.
yeah, hit yourself
get high
with that,
and watch it.
hit yourself with that 9-pound hammer, watch Cats, and then you'd be like, "Is that Jason Derulo?" Yeah, it's awesome.
I forgot Jason Derulo's in
Because
there.
he never says his name in the movie, so you don't know it's him.
Yeah, they got the CG and flat.
I love it.
It's interesting.
Again, Chris Crespo from Cinema Crespodiso. He, he's able to deep dive a lot more than we are on our show
Indeed.
into a bunch of movies. How often does your podcast come out?
We have new episodes coming out every week, Sunday evening, Monday morning. You know, I say Mondays. And then we have our Patreon show, patreon.com/Crespodiso. New episodes every Friday. This week we're watching the 1994 action classic, Time Cop.
No!
We're going to do a deep dive
That's a
on
great
Time Cop.
movie.
Yeah,
Now
so-
you're talking.
So that's coming out on Friday.
Take that.
And that in the future, like Flying Cars was like 200008. It was like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was ridiculous. Like, and
Well, Back to the Future Part 2 was 2015. We passed it
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. We passed it. Yeah.
anyway,
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
No
man,
problem.
thanks for coming in here. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more.
nope, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
Oh,
this is it.
yeah. That's segment 4.
You're done.
Sorry.
We're done.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, God. It is corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here wearing the finest of original Tom and Dan hoodies.
Yes.
And our sales. Have you given? What's his official title?
No?
Because Samantha is now
You forgot.
operations manager,
Yeah.
and Butler is sales
Janitor.
No, I was being
Sales
serious. I was being serious. I didn't want to get your name wrong.
Janitor of sales.
Oh, man.
Okay. Janitor of sales.
Yeah.
Assistant janitor.
Yeah.
Salesman.
Assistant to the janitor of sales.
Yeah.
This is
Assistant
me.
to the janitor. Sales intern. No, what is his original? What's his
I
title?
don't know. Does anybody
Sales
care
guy?
about titles?
But I always say this. I don't know how to introduce him now when we have guests come in. Even like last week, we had Marlon Wayans in, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you remember our racist sales guy that got you collard greens last time?
Yeah. That's what I call
No,
it.
but I said this is our. I always say this is our sales guy, and then I feel like I was thinking about it over the weekend. I was like, that's not a formal enough. I go, our producer Samantha.
Okay.
So I should say.
I think everybody knows.
Sales associate.
Yeah. That's
No,
when
but
you
that's
Retail.
like Best Buy.
That's when
Yeah.
you have a
Well-
job that's so bad that you need some fancying up. Then they have the
Salesman.
Now
associate.
we did this on our business cards. We may do it now, but I've aged out of it just this year. Is the novelty name of what you do on the business card? Butler and I were talking a little bit about this. When you have like ours would say like owner Realman, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, the goof.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think my
we
old
did
sales
get
one
one
in beer was Craft Beer Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People do like
Oh, no.
bringer of joy and professional cool guy, and I'm like, no.
Goodness gracious.
Also,
I've done it too. Look, I'm putting myself in the category. The only reason I can make fun of it is because I've done it.
business cards still a thing somehow. It's weird. I mean, I'm sure on the decline, but still people use them,
Yeah.
and I find myself giving business cards to people when you
Do it a lot.
It seems less invasive.
You always
than,
do it in a panic, though.
They're all like, oh, that's your card.
I do everything in a
Hold
panic.
on. Everybody calm down.
That-
I've got business cards.
That's to instill,
Yeah.
calmness into our company.
And then the other thing you do that gives people massive confidence is you're like, here's a card. Hold on. Is this the right one? That people love that. When you look at the business card, you say, this is the right one. Last week, we had somebody drop by some beer and leave a business card, and it was their old business card, and they just scribbled out all of the old information, and then in the back, in a panic, written like a serial killer, this person wrote their name, and I can't even tell the numbers. It was like you were writing before the killer pushed the bathroom door down. That's what it looked like.
It'd better off just to email us,
Yeah.
and then the handwritten, scratched out business card. But it seems
I will make fun of you if you do that, and if you misspell sheriff on your business card. You
Here's-
know who you are.
here's why you give me out a lot of tickets though.
Yeah.
He
He didn't help my wife.
If the cop shows up,
now
he's
he's my
screwed.
now he's my enemy. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
But
I like that guy.
here's why I think business cards will still be a thing even in the future is because
Cocaine.
you want to give someone your number, but you don't want to you're like, hey, do you want my number? And they're like, yeah. And then you're like, well, open your phone.
No,
and I'll give
you
it to you.
don't.
And I
You
put
do
it-
the other one. I'd like to go, give me your phone.
Oh, you put it in there for
I'm
him?
putting your number in so you don't lie. And then I'm going to call myself right now. There it is. It's ringing.
So I think it's to
Now I've got your number.
it's to eliminate that awkwardness of like forcing or asking the person to put the number
Or if
in
you
their
want
phone.
them to send you an email, you don't want to have to sit there and spell it all out.
Yeah,
like, here, just take
One
this.
of the greatest stories, and we're going to have to get him back in here to talk about this, was when we sent Ross McCoy, local comedian, has his own podcast, Tots with Ross. Look it up. Ross McCoy, we sent him out to see Dan Aykroyd signing his Crystal Skull vodka at, I don't think it was ABC. I don't think it was. It was another liquor establishment. But we sent him out with one of our business cards. Ross met him. Bought some vodka, I guess, had him sign everything, gave him the business card. He said, thank you, took the business card, handed it to his representative or his handler, and then Ross watched this guy take the business card and throw it directly into the trash can. I was like, yeah. I love that.
You would think
I love when he told me that. I wasn't mad. It made me happy.
It made me happy too. And also,
why does stuff like that make us happy?
Just as easily, the guy could put it in his pocket and at the end of the day take them all, because I'm sure this happens a lot, and then throw them in the trash. But nope, right? He's like, all right, thank you, Mr. Ackroyd, and right the trash, because they want you to see that
what you're up against,
that your dreams are killed.
Yeah.
But I don't know what your dreams were. Like you think Dan Aykroyd's gonna be like, oh, like, hey, this guy gave me his business card, I'm gonna make him a star. Like, I mean, I don't know what people
do.
think.
Rappers or bands still get? I mean, the day of the mixtape
Demos
is gone,
and stuff.
right? Or not mixtape, the demo tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
everybody wants to be a star. So, I mean, if it's as easy as just if you run into an actor or a rapper or someone that has achieved some fame and you give them your thing and
like on CD? They don't even have a CD player.
No, I guess like
you have a
MP3.
thumb drive?
It's on SoundCloud, man. You send them a link.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like
it's hard to find a famous person's real email.
They may not even open it. What are you laughing about?
Just a story my friend told me over the weekend about CDs, but she'll be in here next Monday, so maybe she'll talk about it.
Jessica.
I love her so much. Little Grift and Jess.
Yeah. She.
I don't know if she wants to tell that story. That's why I'm not going to say it. But
you know what she needs?
I'll have to remember to write it down.
And
she needs a mentor.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. I will mentor Jessica.
Mm-hmm. It's good for you too.
I don't think that's good for me.
It's good for you too when you share a little bit of your knowledge.
Yeah.
You know,
it helps me
you're taking on. It's like AA. Yeah, like I'm thinking of
I'll
joining
do that too with her.
I'm gonna be a big brother in the Big Brother program.
Yeah. It's
seriously thinking about doing it. You know,
it's more for me than it is for her.
It
heals my soul.
I just want my wife to take some pictures of me. You know, like hooping it up with some of my bros. You know, like playing a vicious game of I don't even know what you play. What do you play? Like, what's the game you play? Horse.
Oh yeah.
I'll play some horse. And my wife, I'm like, get some photos. Like, get us a photo of us
you
hugging.
leave, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, get out of here. You're disgusting. You're gross. You come from a terrible family.
Oh no family.
God, your dad was a drug addict. Ew, gross. You hugged me.
You have no parents? Ew.
My God. Would you like some hand sanitizer? Joke's on you. I bought it all. No one has any. I'm the hand sanitizer king. If anybody wants hand sanitizer, they have to come to my castle made of hand sanitizer. And good luck getting it, because all the toilet paper's on the drawbridge.
You know what sanitizer?
I'm the supplies king.
I'm completely sanitized.
I put hand sanitizer on my teeth. They're bright. They're clear. You can't even see my teeth. My teeth look like those squares in an old lady's shower. Okay.
80 glass thick. They're 8 inches thick.
What are you afraid I'm going to see your bush?
My teeth are cubes. Anyway. All right. Butler.
Yes.
I brought a postal sticker, which, by the way,
this is the stupidest thing in
Yeah.
the world. Like some of
who
the
was
conversations
betting that I forgot it?
Me and Butler.
Who bet on you, buddy?
Okay.
Danny did
yeah.
it.
Danny did. He got my back.
I also know where my bread's buttered. He signs me a check, so I always bet on him.
You can sign your own
He
checks.
forces me to. I don't even know how to sign my own checks.
So
I don't even know what I get paid. What do I write it there? I say, how many zeros? I don't even know. 500, 200? It could be any amount. I don't even see them.
I don't know what numbers
Just
are.
go to my wife. I don't. Seriously, I'm clueless about it.
So Butler texted in the group text last night. By the way, who do you think out of all of us? Of course, like Samantha and Daniel not gonna have a postal digger.
I might. You don't know.
Maybe Samantha, but definitely not Daniel. Like, what was he gonna use a posthole digger for?
I don't know.
I was inebriated. I didn't think one of y'all had one. I was just a shot in the
why
dark.
would anybody? I mean, like, Tom's got two. I mean, even with being a realtor, his wife. I mean, there's applications for it. You know.
Let me read the transcript of this texting.
Okay.
So from Butler, random at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, I thought it was like 2 a.m. Like Bubba used to text us in the middle of the night. Need some jet ski gas.
Do any of you have post hole diggers? Tom, I got one. I can bring it tomorrow. Butler, awesome. I need to raise my bat motel.
Yeah. So Butler.
And I put laughy face, WTF. Yeah.
So you built a bat house?
No. I got a fine early birthday present from my wife. I got a
God.
bat hotel that
Did you
holds
ask for that?
100 bats.
Did you ask for a bat hotel?
She knows that I've been talking about one for a
better
while.
than Red Dead Redemption expansion pack.
or BJ. Or
I've been wanting one. Well,
yeah.
that's gone.
Oh, really? Is he gonna bat out? He's got a hole in it. I mean,
watch out.
It's got a big slit. Yeah.
blah blah.
it'll get
Careful. Let's just say if you come in tomorrow with some bandages, I'll know what happened. Yeah.
So your wife got you a bat hotel, and now why
Your
do
life is bizarre,
Some
man.
people call it a glory hole.
I'm glad-
blah.
This is why I hired Butler, by the way.
He
So
went
it's-
farming over the weekend. He's got a bat hotel.
Yeah, it takes the heat off me. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
tell you the crazy
This guy's
stuff.
miserable life is out of control.
So, why did you want a bat hotel?
Well, because one bat will eat 1,000 mosquitoes in an hour. My backyard is a cesspool of mosquitoes. I live on kind of like a marshy lake.
Yeah.
One mosquito, Nick's fogger, will dust the entire earth.
No, bat hotel.
Yeah.
Now, my fogger, I put that thing out there. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it kills people walking by my house. Everything.
Bombs, anything.
Everything dead.
How
So-
are your neighbors going to feel about this when they already hate you?
Yeah,
I don't care.
Are you
No.
allowed
No,
to
it's-
with your homeowners
They won't see it. It's
association?
in my backyard. They won't see it. There's no way they can see it.
Now, I'm here. I think I was put on this earth. I don't believe in anything, but I really do. If my one true meaning on this earth, I think, is to ruin people's dreams. Because I like doing it so much, and sometimes I've told you plenty of stories how I ruin everybody's dreams. Someone tells me what they want, I'm like, you can't ever do that. My kids will, I'm sure, tell me what they want to be when they grow up. I'm like, that's statistically probably unlikely. Shoot for something smaller. So I'm a dream ruiner, and I like to do that. So
You're also a dreamer, which makes you the best dream ruiner. though.
Yeah.
Because I know, because even the
well,
stuff
you're in the game. It's like when they do
Yes.
those shows on how to break into a house, they don't have some guy show you. They get an ex-criminal.
yeah.
That he's like, back when we used to do it, this is the way we used to do it.
Tons,
And then you got to go, safe touch.
Tons of my dreams never came to fruition. I
How's
know,
your boat playing out?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Ran it one time.
Yeah, one time.
Now it's a big bucket of leaves.
just sitting there rotting.
Yeah.
Complete waste of money. Ruin my dream. So I want to ruin other people's dreams. So I have thought of getting a bat house to pre-mosquito nets. Now I got a great mosquito net system.
Yeah, who needs
It
bats when you
fogs
can
are
have
crazy.
high pressurized hoses?
Yeah. So
What about the bees, bro?
until I
I
realized
don't
kills them
give a
too.
damn.
Now it goes off during non-bee foraging hours.
Also, COVID-19 or whatever, like even the chat room saying originated from bats. That's great. Bring them right to your front lines of your front door.
So here's when I realized that because everybody does say like, oh, bats eat a bunch of mosquitoes, so get a bunch of bats, and then they.
But then you got to get something to eat the bats.
No, well, the problem is they don't eat all the mosquitoes. They do because guess
That's
what?
why I'm getting a box of 100 of them.
Yeah,
so
but-
at least I can get a couple to eat them.
I'll tell you when I realized this isn't going to work because there is a park near Gainesville, Florida, near UF. That I believe is on campus. The same park that I caught that alligator in Counterparts that I'm still waiting to get arrested for.
Okay, that's great.
So
Come and get me.
And in that park there is a gigantic bat house that at every dusk thousands of bats fly out, so much so that it's like a tornado of bats, and I forgot what it's called.
Batnado
It's
is what it's
it's
called.
Batnado. But anybody that went to UF
That's
knows
the
about
scientific term.
and it's gigantic bat house, and so many bats come out. It's a black tornado of bats, and then a bunch of the co-eds go watch it every night, and then watch Batnado.
Gets them really hot.
And as you're watching,
You like watching the Batnado, baby?
10,000 bats.
It's more than that.
At how much is it?
500,000 bats.
Oh, okay, 500,000.
It's the world's largest occupied bat houses.
So 500,000
Beat
bats
that, Butler.
come out of this Batnado, and you're standing watching it with
Drinking
a bunch
a
of
lime White Claw with a bunch of co-eds.
Yeah, and the whole time you're slapping your legs and arms because the mosquitoes are biting the hell out of you. Because guess what? There's 500,000 bats. There are 10 billion mosquitoes, and the bats can't eat enough mosquitoes to eradicate them from your home.
I'm just doing my part, bro. Just doing my part.
So
So-
now you're gonna have bats and mosquitoes. That's all I'm saying.
So are you pretty excited about this? Is your wife pretty excited about this? Are you having a party to
Yeah, we're gonna have a premiere party where the bats are just gonna fall out.
Yeah, I didn't know what the plan was. Did you really want this? Like, had you not gotten
I've wanted one for a while, like just because we have had really bad mosquitoes and bugs in my backyard, and so I wanted to get one for a little while now.
Yeah,
and
try it out.
just to try it out. I mean,
Sure.
it's like $50, plus the price for the
Do you need-
14-foot pole.
What do you put in there to get them there?
Nothing. You actually just leave it up there, and if it gets a lot of sun and it's near a water, which it is,
You gotta smear some peanut butter and then put some hot dogs in there.
No, you gotta-
Everybody knows that. You gotta put something in there they like.
Bats
spray it
love
out
hot
for
dogs.
Yeah,
wasps.
put some
if
hot dogs
occasionally.
in there.
So, because my wife had mentioned in the past getting a bat house, and
I'm surprised you don't already have one.
I know. For years she's been like, we should get a bat house because there are bats that most houses everywhere in Florida have bats. You'll see them at dusk and they'll
Yeah.
fly around everywhere. And
we don't have them around here.
No, yeah, you got them out.
Occasionally, you'll hear some gunshots of people blowing them out of the sky. Yeah, they're not welcome here. Neither are mosquitoes, though, either. We don't have those either.
So
Neither are most ethnicities, actually, around here.
yeah.
They run them out of here.
So
It's weird.
and she told me all you have to do is put the bat house at like, what is it, 20
12
feet?
12 feet
Oh,
up.
12 feet up.
Oh, wow, you're going to get this way wrong.
Oh,
You're going to have
God.
a jumbo, high-as-hell bat house.
And
higher
then
than Chong.
they will just go in there because they're looking for,
They're looking for
shelter.
shelter safety. Yeah, and they like to pack in there like sardines. So like it's small, and they'll just pack in there until they can't fit anymore in there.
Now,
And then what do? You put a piece of duct tape over the hole, then shake it up real good.
Set
then
it on
take-
fire.
Yeah.
so here's why I don't like bats. First
Guano.
reason. Okay, I'll bring up the doo-doo. The doo-doo from bats can get people sick.
Like our buddy.
Yeah, the Mississippi.
I don't plan on eating it, so I'm good.
Well, he went
Just
to
being
some
around
Exposure
it.
to it, yeah.
Yeah, like I guess. Although
You can get sick from cat litter, let alone like women can. So what do I care about?
No,
guano?
like pregnant women, I think, right? We talked
Yeah.
about
Not
that
to mention,
too.
you can make bowls out of guano,
what do you mean bowls? What?
like Ace Ventura too. You know,
Your wife got you a bat house so she could start making
guano bowls.
Guano bowls.
Don't hold on. Do they? What? Why did they want to collect the guano?
It's fertilizer, right?
Do they?
It was in Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
It was a sacred bat. It was the sacred albino bat, wasn't it? That,
Yeah, but
Oh my God.
but there was some sort of truth behind. They use guano for something. Is it just fertilizer? I thought they.
no, they used it for bowls. They would harden into like plates, and they used it to eat.
I
it.
don't
So
want
like
to eat
clay?
off of bat poop.
Yeah.
Well, they are living in the bush, in the jungle.
I mean, couldn't you just eat it off of like a rock or the ground?
You probably could.
Or how about your hand?
How big is the Florida bat? What are we
about
talking?
the size of my thumb.
like the
Is
body.
It, oh my God,
About
it is
the size
Bat
of my thumb.
Monday.
They're tiny.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
might as well go for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you? Well, how can you mess this up? So there's no way to mess this up.
There's
you just
zero way for me to mess this
you
up.
put the thing 12 feet high. You don't have to put any type of
Nope.
a
No
bait
food,
or any peanut.
nothing.
You don't have to put any peanut butter in there.
Nope.
You don't have to like check it.
Nope.
Once they get
Well,
in
actually,
there,
if you don't see them for a couple weeks in there, you need to make sure there's no like wasps or hornets in there.
Gotcha.
Because and then you spray those out if there are, and
Makes
then they go
sense.
back in there. So yeah, they just like that. Once they're in there, no other bugs will live in
well,
there.
bats are
They'll-
afraid of wasps. Well, they're gigantic.
bigger than a wasp.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if they're afraid of them. They're just like, hey, bro, I see you got this house already. I'll go find some.
So they're super polite.
Yeah.
They are very polite.
And so then once you have the bat house
Mm-hmm.
and they start swarming, I know they swarm out at dusk
Mm-hmm.
to get the mosquitoes and whatnot, and then they'll sleep in there during the day.
Yes.
And is there something for them to hang upside down off of in there?
Yeah, there's like a mesh on the inside so they can actually
Attach
hook their
to the
little
wall.
feet.
It's
into the
uterine
side,
mesh too.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem with it, you call the 1-800 number. You class action lawsuit you and the bats.
And then do you have to clean it out every once in a while? Whatever.
Hose it out like an old Jeep.
Yeah. Like what happens if they fill it full of doo-doo?
They can't because it's the openings on the bottom. If they poop, it just falls out into the grass.
Oh, that's
fertilizing my
lovely.
grass.
Oh, your neighbor will love that. Like you're a
Well, it's
guy-
hanging over like a large bush though too, so like you won't be able to see it. It'll fall into the bush, and so,
so there's just
the
gonna be a
armadillos will.
bush of
Turd
white.
bush.
It's
bat
not white.
doo-doo.
They're not birds.
No, I thought
So
guano was white.
besides your algae covered concrete and besides horrible landscaping, what else have you done? You now have a bush that will be a pile of hoarder bat doo-doo.
Oh.
Guano bush, yeah.
I like it. I like it.
And then do you have that forever? Is it just to stay up there
Yeah,
for as
Butler
long
said
as
he
time?
can't. Butler
Well, it's
said
a
once
rental.
it's there, you're done.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can. I guess you could go kick it around and try to get them out of there. But once it's up, I'm not going to go mess with it. I don't want to get bit by a bat. I mean, that's how you get COVID-19.
Yeah, I don't get that.
When you move, do you take the bat house with you? Or do you
Nah,
just
I'm just
leave
going to leave it
for
there and
the
I'll go
other-
get another
Okay.
one. Yeah, you leave it there. That's someone else's trouble to deal with. Yeah.
No, you leave. You wait till they're sleeping in there, and that's when you put it in the back of your truck and drive down the road.
So
fast.
Besides from the mosquito thing, which we've already established, will not eradicate the mosquitoes around your whole property.
Just looking to put it down, bro.
It might just be a placebo, right? Like it might.
Yeah.
It might do next to nothing, but just the idea of having the bat house is comforting to you and your
I just
wife.
want to see bats fall out of a box.
Well, I can do that for you.
And they'll swarm out of theirs, and then is the same. How do bats like? Is there a leader of a colony? Like, is there some sort of hierarchy of bat?
That's actually a really good
I
question.
believe
Well-
there is. I believe there is a Batman.
Oh, here, he's got jokes now. This guy.
No, I knew it was a mistake. Oh, I
You know
hope
what's
those
funny? Is
bats
I
get you
thought
good.
Batman, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not
I
gonna
know.
do
I'm glad you didn't.
I'm like, I'm not going to do that to Tom. I'm going to think of another fictional bat leader. Yeah, who is the leader of the bats inside? Is there like a pack leader inside the bat house?
There's got because if they're all in some sort, okay, Samantha, look up what is a group of bats called?
A
Is it-
colony.
okay, so a colony of bats. It would seem
There has to be some sort of hierarchy. You're
because
right.
bats. There's also a thing I read one time that bats are one of the only other mammals that will actually take care of stranger bats outside of their family. Like
Welcome them into their
no,
colony?
just
or-
like be altruistic to like stranger bats.
So if
like,
I'm
like
a bat and I'm not in your colony and I fly up to your bat house and you'll welcome me, but come on in, have a bowl of soup.
I don't know if welcoming into the house, but if there's like a sick bat, other bats will take care of that sick bat, like something that humans learn to do because it helped us survive. We figured out that like helping random people.
So humans learned empathy from bats.
No. But it's like what we learned, bats also learned, and there's some other mammals and animals that do this. But bats are a unique mammal that actually helps bats outside of their colony.
Yeah.
Just for the hope that maybe, I guess, the scientists believe that they do this thinking that in case they are ever sick, another bat will help them. You know, kind of like why humans. There's been studies of why we help strangers. Like it doesn't make us like. Why would helping a stranger actually have any benefit to us? Like, why do we do this? Why do we human beings want to help strangers? And they equate it back to these bats. So they must have figured out that that somehow helps you survive.
Oh, wow. I just looked up all the different criteria for successful bat houses. Design, construction, wood treatment, sun exposure, habitat, mounting, protection from predators, avoiding uninvited guests, like he said, the wasps, timing, and I guess you can put them around.
And as for timing, it's right now
year-round.
because they're going into the breeding season. So you actually want to do that.
Interesting.
Right now is the best time to erect a bat motel or bat house.
And will the bats, by having a place for them to live near your house, will you have a greater worry of them going into your house? Because I thought I had bats in my roof one time.
No, well, my house is actually pretty secure. I actually had a BDM come by and kind of make sure everything was fine beforehand.
yeah.
I had an issue with I think squirrels getting in my attic. We got that taken care of, and so they sealed up the house. There's no possibility of them getting in my house, but no, they'll be completely attracted, and they'll actually fill that bat house up to a point where they're hanging out, and then the guy who actually made him a nice old man out in DeLand, the bat houses, he's like, well, you can actually get another one, and you just start filling them up, and they'll fill them up as they go, and you can have one of these $500,000 bat house if you could fill it up that much.
So you could just have
700 bats.
In a residential area? I feel like there
Well,
might be some kind of code enforcement here.
not really. 'Cause
It's going to take your property value to to zero.
my backyard backs up into wetlands, so I have almost a mile behind my house of nothing but golf course and wetlands. So it's not intruding in anyone's property. It's on my own property. I'm a renter, but I'm not going to tell my property management. They don't care.
Nothing more fancy than you're like, oh, it's bat hour, and then you go in and watch them swarm out, and then while you get bit by mosquitoes, and you get.
Well, I can watch it from my window in my house because that's where I'm going to plant it. So I can actually have a huge bay window. I can take a look at it and drink my wine.
Daniel, what's cooler, bats or bees? Because
I like bees
because at least they make honey, so you can
you get something out of it. You know, I mean, bats make honey too, but you know.
Well, they eat as mosquitoes. I think that's his whole point.
Right. But Tom's point is that
not enough.
He's being nice to Butler. He should say it's stupid, doesn't
Not
work,
gonna work.
and you should have gotten honey.
Yeah, if they ate
I've
all
got bee
of
houses too.
do you have bee houses?
No, not
okay.
Oh, you should add all of that. You should have a tiny farm of everything. You need ferrets.
Pigs.
Speaking
Let
of
me get you some ferrets.
Speaking of tiny farm, let's talk about your farming.
I haven't started my tiny farm yet, sir.
And
Oh, by the way, jumping around. Remember, I had told you a while ago, my younger brother, before he passed away, bought a miniature pig. Well, checking back in, this miniature pig is now 265 pounds.
oh my god!
Oh my god!
There's no such thing as miniature pigs.
Where is this pig?
At my friend's house, who's taking care of it
All right.
permanently. Yeah, he
And
built a pen and everything, but this thing's huge.
265 pounds.
It's
a big
massive
boy.
pig, yeah.
Yeah. So will it just continue to grow?
I think it'll grow the size, like kind of to the pen, almost like a goldfish. I think because he has a smaller yard. He's like, it's not growing anymore.
It's like when
right
you put
now.
a pumpkin in a
wider.
square box and you grow a square pumpkin.
Well, you just got to watch where you feed it. They'll eat, neat. So you just got to feed it on a schedule, and it won't grow as much.
Huh. And how long do pigs live? Like,
I think like 20 years, man.
Oh God, they're like birds.
That's a long ass time to own a gigantic
15
pig.
to 20 years.
Wow.
So back to
The farm.
So we talked about it.
He started a farm. Butler started a tiny farm.
No, you bought into a farm. Now explain to the
like a co-op deal.
Yeah.
It's exactly. It's a co-op deal.
Sweet.
You buy in. We actually got in early. It cost a lot of money to actually get in. So we got in halfway through the growing season, which ends in May. And for every other Friday, every 2 weeks, we get to go to this barn out in DeLand, and they have seasonal fresh produce that are picked that day or the couple days prior that you get to get dibs on. And it's we bring home a ton of produce.
But you have to actually.
We don't have to pick it or do anything. You're supposed to technically volunteer your time. So you go in there, you get your produce, whatever, but you're supposed to give back your time into the co-op as well. We're donating 5 hours per partner, if you will. So Jen and I are partners in this. So we'd actually technically have to donate 10 hours of our time digging in the mud.
A year?
A year.
Okay.
That's not bad for
A growing
a year.
season.
It's not a lot. No.
It's not. I mean, but you typically put in a couple hours.
How
Gotta go out there and
likely
work
is it-
real slow.
Yeah. Have you donated any time yet?
No.
okay.
We're gonna push it until they ask us. Be like, Mr. Butler, you haven't done any time. Or like, just run.
I'm working on the house.
Just run away.
So
I'm sending my bats in my stead.
So if you don't
Chomp the leaves.
donate any time, everybody that's involved in the co-op
Gets
when
mad.
when you're getting the strawberries, they're gonna be like, look at them. Those
They eat all of the best produce, but they never get their hands dirty.
yeah, the butlers don't do nothing.
I would gradually pay a little bit more to not do the manual labor.
That's what Tom would do.
Well, it's called
Well,
farmers market that
it's
you go
called
to.
Publix,
Yeah,
yeah.
why even go to the farm at
or
that
Publix.
point?
Yeah.
Well, because the farmer's market I was going to, I wasn't 100% convinced that the produce was 100% organic. There was produce in there that it was not seasonally grown at the right time, and they were massive, and they were labeled as organic, and I didn't believe them, so I waged a war with my
This is
local farmer.
torturous life.
You wage a lot of wars,
I
but
do. I got a neighborhood war. I got a farm war. I got.
Farm War.
Speaking of
That's
bees,
a great video game.
This happens because my brother-in-law actually he's like a beekeeper and he sells his bee honey. He's got like 150 hives or something, whatever. And so he told me that because he sells all his honey to friends and family and stuff, like sells it out really easily.
Yeah.
And he told me like a lot of people at farmer markets, that bee honey isn't local. Like there may be a couple, like maybe two out of like what they offer, but the rest is just
They just buy it,
yeah,
repackage it?
Yeah, buy it.
Oh, we should start doing that.
They buy it, repackage it. They also just buy it for online.
There's
or
a
whatever.
Netflix series that goes over this
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
talk about the corruption in the honey industry and how it's.
I want to
really
do it
nasty,
across the board. Like I want to go to Publix and buy a bunch of fruit and vegetables, and then I want to sit on the side of the road in overalls and sell it to dodos and tell them it's organic and
If your honey's coming in a plastic bear bottle, it's not legit honey.
Also, all the fruit and vegetables that are organic and grown locally, don't look appealing. They're all like the carrots, are all like a shillelagh, like all like they're
looks like
brown
a walking
spots.
stick for the horror movie Leprechaun.
Like the strawberries are all like I'm using my strawberry big, thick
I
with
want
chocolate.
I want a big GMO mega. I want a strawberry as big as a pumpkin.
I'm like, damn, this has seeds in it. Like,
Yeah, my stinky carrots, they're like yellow. They're not even orange. They're
Yeah,
like yellow and they're crooked.
Heirloom carrots are the worst.
They're-
At restaurants, they try to pass those off by putting a crumbled blue cheese on top. I'm like, this stinks.
they don't
Give
taste
me
as good.
bright red rabbit Bugs Bunny carrots.
My neighbor gave me some oranges, and he's like, "Hey, I got these oranges." He's like a yard guy, so he gets like fruit from his clients sometimes. He's like,
Found them in the backyard.
and he's like, here's some oranges. They're all lumpy and like, and he's like, they're white, yellow. They weren't even orange. And he's like, these they're not the. You gotta put some sugar in there. He's like, you gotta cut it with some
don't think
sugar
you're
water.
supposed to eat all of them.
And I'm like, what the hell? You got some
I squeeze
goddamn.
them. Would you like some white yellow juice?
I just have a goddamn Sunny D like an American. Get out of here with your stinky ass oranges. Tastes like ass.
Have any of you guys ever stolen your neighbor's oranges or grapefruits or anything like that?
Yeah, they're all gross.
No.
Jen and I have been on a mission.
Stolen? Why are you trying
Not
to...
as an adult.
We go citrus stealing in my neighborhood.
Oh
all the time.
my! This is why your neighbors hate
That's why they
you.
hate you, because you're a bad neighbor. You're like, this is our place. We have our bats crap everywhere. We're going to steal everything and not listen to what anybody says.
Your wife's a doctor.
You should not have ratted her out.
No,
Yeah,
but you
man,
don't
just
have to
buy
steal-
some
yeah.
citrus like a normal person.
Because my neighbors, it tastes good. They got good citrus.
Is it the citrus that tastes good, or is it the fact that you're defrauding your
Yeah,
neighbors?
free fruit.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
adrenaline, the
They're
fact that
Makes
it's
it
stolen
taste
good.
sweeter.
Yeah.
They're not eating them, so I will.
Because I remember in Deltona, I had a bunch of those grapefruit.
You went through that. You were like, I'm starting my own citrus juice company.
And I had a bunch. Like one day, it like went crazy. One year, I don't know what happened, but it was an explosion, and I had garbage bags.
Yeah.
I mean garbage pails filled
of the worst tasting citrus.
yeah. I tried everything. Like and believe me, because my wife
They were
loved
only
it.
good for throwing at barns.
It's gross.
A barn throwing.
Like-
Three man slingshot those.
Like
things.
Yeah.
I added
disgusting.
sugar to it. It's just disgusting.
That's how my baby bananas were, man. I grew some bananas on the side of my house, and they look like little mummy fingers. They're disgusting.
The tiny little- I hate those.
I shamed myself and made myself eat them.
Gross. You see, like there's like wild fruit and stuff.
I don't think you're supposed to eat it. Like I had an orange tree in the back of my
I will
home.
die because I go around and I pick the wild fruit and I like peel it off and I taste it and then if it's gross, I throw it down.
You're that guy from the Call of the Wild or whatever. Into the wild.
I'm gonna find myself a bus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna die in
My
an
tummy hurts.
LSD
Dead.
bus. My tummy hurts. I'll just take some LSD.
You cross the river in
Yeah.
the winter, you idiot. Still, you might as well die in the water. You're gonna die in the bus. Just go for
I
it.
remember when
bro. Come on.
when that movie came out for a split second, I was like, "Holy crap, dude! Eddie Vedder's dead," because he did all the music for it. I'm like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" That's it. All right, we got to take a break.
Yep.
We'll take a quick break. Come back with more corporate time right after this.
Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. You want to do some voicemails?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's jump into voicemails. You can leave us a voicemail by downloading, not getting. Get our free app. Just search Tom and Dan or Mediocre Time. Once you get the app, all of our content's there. You can sign up to be a BDM member. Costs you a little bit of extra money, but you get extra shows, private parties, all kinds of fun stuff. Let's try this one right here.
So I heard Tom yet again talking about possibly getting a dog. I will say, and I've said this before, but I think the right match for Tom and his family is a droopy old basset hound. That's what you got to do. Get a basset hound. I think that's going to be the best fit for the Van household. Love the show, guys. Sucking fat titties.
No, you jerk. Well, they have skin problems, right? they're kind of hard to manage. I always thought Basset Hounds are kind of hard to manage just because of their bodies.
Well, I will tell this gentleman that whatever dog we do end up getting, because I'm sure we're going to get one, is going to be a lumpy rescue dog, or whatever dog that.
Someone needs some love, man.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to be able to pick the breed, because my wife's going to definitely want to go to.
But if you like find
shelter or something.
a
Basset Hound, yeah.
like, or a Basset mix of somehow, maybe. I mean,
Is it because they don't do much?
I think that's what he's saying, but I think your sons hung out with Caesar, my dog, and he doesn't do anything, and they were kind of
disappointed.
They didn't like that.
Yeah, they want to play with the dog. Again, though, like my wife was talking about having another baby again, and then she goes back and forth between this and the dog, and I'm like, man, I'm ready to. I got my boat. I'm ready that I never use, and
you're really never gonna use it if you have another baby.
No, that's what I told her.
That would be really hard.
Yeah, it's
in
done.
fact,
Everything.
This is a hot take.
Done.
This is a hot take, but
We're not
I
doing
don't
it.
think you could handle it. I think you'd freak out. Just
Another
because of
baby?
the lack of sleep and everything. I'm not saying you wouldn't enjoy it or love it, or like, I'm just saying
Of course,
I think
yeah.
it would be
Too much.
You'd be pegged.
Yeah. It would be a peg scenario. Also, I told her, and this is how.
Well, you could do that, just no baby.
Yeah. Maybe that's better.
Yeah, it is better.
Soapy butt.
Soapy butt.
But I did my one counter argument that always works is it'll take attention away from Tommy and Max, and they'll be neglected, because how can we not? Because we'll be dealing with the newborn.
Yeah, you only have so much time.
Yeah. And so that kind of gets my wife back into
Good
the
argument.
logical mindset of, all right, we're good.
Sometimes you got to shock the heart.
Plus, I would have to get a vasectomy reversal, and that's a whole
I'll
bunch
do
of
it. I'll do it.
scheduling.
I think I know how things work down there.
and surgery.
It's just
and,
like it's like my daughter had a Barbie that was broken, and glue wasn't working to put this particular Barbie. It was a mermaid, and the mermaid's tail had fallen off.
Yep.
But super glue wasn't working. Regular glue wasn't working, and I figured out what works. And this is why I'm a dad. I'm good at this kind of stuff. I had to burn the mermaid's tail. And when it got red hot and that toxic smoke was pluming into the air, I jammed it, melted in there. Worked like a charm.
Yeah.
All I had to do was sand a little bit of
solder
the
it
black
together.
marks off of there, throw a little paint on there, good as new.
Yeah.
So I think I can fix that for you.
So, and then my wife, she mentions, like, because I'm like, well, when we want to leave town or go on trips or go on the boat, and we're gonna have to find someone to watch the dog. It's an extra added
it is.
thing. And then in which she says, well, bring the dog.
No.
And then I'm like, I remember the last time we owned a dog together, and the way you treat the animal is not like a dog should be treated. You treat it like a part of the family, which it is, but you don't. There's no boundaries.
He doesn't have voting rights.
I mean, it's going to be sleeping in our bed, and it's not going to be tough enough to, just be like, all right, get on the boat. Don't fall off. You'll die. One of those things. It'll be like constantly afraid that it's going to fall, and it would be curtailing our
Sounds
trip.
wonderul. You need, a bat house. Man, you
I've
guys,
been through it.
and what you guys describe as the bat house was a birthday gift, and look at these things that you guys talk about is just miserable.
I know. I'm telling you. Our lives
You're right.
are miserable.
My life's pretty good.
That's what
I
I'm
need
saying.
to start counting my lucky stars.
Yes.
Oh my God, you
You're-
spit all over me.
Oh,
My God, I can feel myself corroding.
I'm sorry.
you spit in my mouth. I felt
been
it.
sick of
I
you.
felt it land on my tongue.
I'm sorry. Also, I took Mucinex and Adderall and said not to do that.
No, you're not supposed
Why
to
did
do
you do
that.
that?
Because I thought it was more like a Navy Diet table suggestion.
What happened?
And I only took one, but I feel.
And
my
your
heart
eye, I
stopping.
swear to God, your eyes are as red as lava.
I know.
They're
Something's happening to me.
I think your blood pressure is sky high.
Yeah. It said may cause
Did you
extreme
find my
high
pen
blood
in my
pressure.
desk?
What's
No. It said don't do this. It'll cause high blood pressure. I'm like,
That's fine. Let's try this one.
Hey Sam, Tom, and Dan. It's Christina from Oklahoma. I was listening to the Friday Free Show, and y'all were talking about Tom's toe. And I wanted to remind you, you may already know this, but Vicks Vapor Rub is a cure-all for everything like that. I remember hearing it on the Phillips File one time, and I had a toe problem one time, and sure enough, I put Vicks Vapor Rub on it, and it sure did clear it up. So Just a thought. Might want to try it. Love you guys. Love the show. Bye.
Dude, if you put Vicks Vapor Rub on your toe and it heals and you get a brand
Do
new
it.
toenail, wow.
I
I
don't
can see.
I don't have a toe problem. I have no toenail. Like
But
that's
maybe
the problem.
it'll grow back fast. Expedite the process.
Vicks Vapor Rub is not going to make my toenail grow back.
Well, I
faster.
think people think you just need to do some preventative maintenance to it. Like right now, you have the equivalent of a car that you backed into the pole.
Yeah, your pinky nail ain't looking so good either. That guy looks like he's hanging on there too from over here.
Yeah,
It's like you damaged it.
I
but
rammed it.
You need to put something over it or file it down or
It's
something.
It's like that awkward stage when you're growing a mustache, and then
growing your hair out. You get the butt cut.
Between nothing and Tom Selleck, there's a weirdo. You're like, that's where my toe's at. It's halfway up now, but there's this weird stuff like
Oozing out.
No, not oozing out, but like okay, so if you took out your toenail, underneath you'd assume would be soft.
Is it?
And mine isn't. Like it got hard and like callous.
Well, now
It
it's
had to.
callous. It has to.
Yeah, it
because
had to.
there's
It's
no
growing
nail.
up. It's growing up fast.
Horse's saddle.
It's the dad of your foot now.
That's the weird part. It's like the half nail that's growing out.
Let
is
me
not-
see your half nail.
It's gonna be a lumpy. It'll be a lumpy nail now forever.
So, look at oh wow. So see the nail.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I see it now.
Half of
Well,
it.
the
is
nail's
right-
not bad if you cover the top half.
Yeah, but the top is all calloused and the skin.
you also have big, like your thumbs are big, so your toes, your big toes are big.
Yeah,
Your toes look like turkey legs at Disney World. They're
No, that is disgusting.
Don't touch it.
they're big turkey legs.
I do have weird long toes. Not good.
Well, I mean they're good for smoking if you're a monkey at a wildlife refuge.
Yeah.
You've got good monkey at a wildlife refuge wants to smoke a cigarette in his twilight years toes.
And good smoking toes.
You got good smoking toes. So do you have any Vicks?
No.
My wife falls into that category. She slams Vicks all over Maisie, on the feet, on the chest,
I've never
under the
used-
nose.
Never used Vicks.
I
in
don't
my
think I
entire
have
life.
either.
Yeah, I never. My
Yeah.
family when I was growing up, no
I
one
never
ever used
used it.
Vicks.
Oh,
No.
we always used it. Yeah. On the
What was
chest,
the
under
cure-all
nose.
that your mom had? We had Neosporin, and we were a peroxide family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
peroxide.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
pour the peroxide on it, you let it bubble up.
That and Desitin. My mom would put Desitin on everything. So I was like, rash, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
Ambide, Desitin,
Desitin works,
pink,
yeah.
right?
No, well, Desitin.
Don't put it on the pink.
Yeah,
No,
no, Desitin's white.
Was it white? I think
Yeah, yeah.
there was a pink Desitin.
My parents were always just gargle some warm salt water.
Yeah.
What? Your legs cut off, and they're like, go gargle.
If you're
some-
feeling sick.
Feeling sick,
Oh,
go
yeah,
gargle
yeah,
some
yeah.
warm salt
Yeah.
water.
And then when we were sick, my mom would be like, you can only have ginger ale, crackers. It was like stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as far as
The white saltines.
get premiums.
Premium.
You gotta have the
Ugh.
premiums. And then I would always have. We had some Advil, or we had some Tylenol, or Triaminic. We always had the Triaminic.
Yeah. Triaminic. Anytime you're sick, Triaminic.
Yeah, with the Triaminic on it.
Whatever.
I was like, what do I do with it? My dad's like, I don't know, because the dads don't know. He's like, put a cotton ball in it, just dab it in your eyes. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Mom would, it was
His
Triaminic.
spine is all wiggly. Triaminic.
Put some Triaminic.
We used to have this stuff called sulfadol, and it was like Alka-Seltzer with codeine.
Oh,
that
now we're
sounds good.
talking.
It was awesome.
It's like my mom used to get 222s from the Bahamas because when they stopped, when they outlawed codeine and regular aspirin in the United States, Bahamas had it.
They got it
buy
all.
it by the big mumbo bottle.
How's your hubby feeling?
He's still sick.
Is he still sick?
He had a gig outside at Johnny's on Saturday, so being sick and it was cold on Saturday
yeah,
night.
yeah,
I
but-
mean,
Yeah, not good.
he's still got some medications to get through.
Did he feel the awkwardness that I felt the past week where you're sick and you're in public and you like your throat tickles, you feel the need to cough, but you don't want to cough because you don't want to draw attention to yourself because everybody's all paranoid of everybody
Probably.
coughing? Okay, yeah. That's even at the DMV, like I still mildly, I got better from last week, but I have a little bit of a cough.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there like, hold it in because I'm there. The
See, I
crowded
just
DMV.
cough. I just cough.
Yeah, but then everybody's like, ugh,
Yeah, I guess I don't care.
Yeah.
I just like Continued coughing.
What's weird is that like you care when people like you,
I know.
but don't care about awkward situations with strangers.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Yeah, the coughing
dynamic.
doesn't bother me at all because I'm like, well, I have to cough and I
Right.
don't have coronavirus. So if they think that, that's on them. I mean,
I-
I do. I'm agreeing with you. It doesn't make
But
any
also,
sense.
like, if they think I do, maybe they'll get away from me. So you can use it to your advantage.
That's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
But then I want to judge other people when they cough.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
I think it's even funnier. Well, there's a lot of like now you get the pranksters that
Right.
make jokes about it now. Like if you cough at 7-Eleven, someone will be like, "Oh,
Get the corona.
you got the corona," and I'm like, just shut up.
or
Nobody wants that.
yeah.
Nobody wants to be in this predicament.
Yeah.
You're not funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Yeah. You're right. Doing the stupid jokes.
like
is
sneezing
done.
on people.
I'm done with it.
Let's try this one.
Hey guys, y'all talk occasionally about how back in y'all's day, the kids that used to buy their lunch at school were the poor kids, and the bringer lunchers were the rich kids. And I don't know if this is, I don't know exactly how this would work. But so I was born in '93, so I'm definitely younger than y'all. Not that much younger, but definitely younger. And I don't know if it's somehow a generational thing. I don't know if maybe it's because healthy food became more of a thing. I don't know. I have no idea why, but at least for me at my school, I feel like it was the exact opposite. It was the rich kids got to go buy because you got to buy I think our high school had like Papa John's pizza.
That's different.
Yeah, high
We're
school
talking
was
about
a-
the
Yeah,
see,
standard cafeteria.
I
food.
didn't have any of that. Like I never had that because even though I went to a large school, it wasn't upgraded enough to have any of like fast food.
We had some of those options in high school, but that was it. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about going through the cafeteria line,
Yeah.
the
Middle
standard.
school,
Yeah.
elementary school.
Well, high schools had them too. I mean, high school had
yeah.
cafeteria food.
Yeah.
You just had other options. We're talking about,
Yeah.
elementary, middle school, the cafeteria food.
Yeah, because in high school I stopped bringing my own food. I just bought it because there was Papa John's and pizza, and like there was the Roach Coach pre food truck. It was called the Roach Coach, and that sold like whatever Cuban sandwiches in Miami, and so everybody would just eat their lunch. But in middle school and like elementary school where you could they didn't have, it was just standard
Pizza,
government
half pint chocolate,
yeah.
everything. I went to school. My parents, they had a friend who was a teacher, and she would pick me up and take me to school in the morning. So I used to go to school when the real poor kids were there. So I was getting like
Mrs.
I would get the
Robinson.
breakfast. Like I would go in there,
Yeah.
they would get
Oh,
the
the
breakfast.
breakfast.
The free breakfast.
That
I
was
would've-
gross.
If I saw the kids that I saw there, when I'd get there and I'd see them, they'd be like finishing up their breakfast, and I was like, those are the poor kids whose parents are coal miners. That's what I thought, because I was like, well, obviously,
You're in Florida, yeah.
obviously, their parents had to be up with a crack ass of dawn, and I was like, well, if they have to get up that early, they're out there swinging a pick in a cave somewhere.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me.
And then you're staying there, your breakfast, lunch, and then you're close to
Well, you might
dinner.
as well live at the school. Yeah.
Like 3, you're like, oh, you got a rough. You'll be tough though.
Although the twilight hour in between
Real
the
tough.
breakfast and school starting, it was like madness. All the kids that were there, you would run amok in the school for like an hour straight, where you just run around doing
I'm Peter Pan.
yeah, kind of, yeah. It
what
was
do they
kinda like
serve for breakfast at school?
It was like
Scramby eggs, little sausage links.
a hash brown,
Yeah.
like the round sausage patty.
I like those. You know what? I don't eat as many of those as I should.
What, round
The
sausage patties?
round. I like the extra
brown and serves.
thin.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Like the
flat
McDonald's
around
thing.
like a patty?
Yeah, sausage
Yeah.
patty.
Sausage patty.
Yeah. I
So
always
you're
have
not a
links.
Linkman. Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, no,
Links
I-
are for poor people.
No, hold on. I always order the links,
No,
never
no,
the
no,
patty,
no, no, no.
but I miss a good patty.
Yeah.
I like a good
I'm
patty.
I'm a sausage patty man.
Yeah.
I like Tennessee Pride spicy.
But if you but
Hot, I
If-
think they call it. Tennessee Pride. It'll burn your damn eyeballs out.
in any fancier establishment, they're only gonna offer the link, right? Like
Yeah, 'cause it kind of gives you the encasing. It kind of looks like a proper sausage.
the link is the fancier of the options.
Not
The
to me.
patty is the McDonald's. The patty's the
So
poor
I think,
option.
no, I think the patty is the you would
because the sausage
Patty's
link.
the poor man.
but you don't have to case the sausage.
Yes, but if you were gonna eat quality sausage, it's gonna come in a link, never a
In
patty.
an encasement,
I
yeah.
disagree.
Patty is the poor man's sausage.
I agree,
I
yeah.
think so.
I like a patty better though.
Now, Juan is saying that links are fancier than patties, but I
Yeah.
disagree. I like I'm a patty guy.
Well, think
if I
about-
see links, I judge your sausage
Well,
place.
I'll end the argument right now. What does McDonald's offer? They offer the patty.
Well, it's 'cause they offer it in
hence
a
the
bu- in a
cheapest-
sandwich.
They,
that's why.
sir, I believe they offer both.
I was gonna say I think they have both because if you get like the breakfast platter, it
Yeah, I
comes
think they
with
give
the
you
links,
links.
right?
No, patty. I think it comes only patty.
See, only poor people eat there, so I don't.
But the only thing,
I don't
you're-
eat it.
the
I
only thing
can't
is
remember
you're
last
not,
time.
the only thing you don't have. Like sometimes I buy sausage that isn't
Yeah.
linked in the store. Like you could go to a butcher and just get loose ground sausage, right? And that doesn't mean that it's any less fancy than a
No,
link.
yeah, at a butcher. I'm just saying if the fancy of the two between the link and the patty is the link, that's the more traditional. I think the patty
That's a proper sausage, yeah.
came because you know
It's
it-
easier to put on a sandwich.
Exactly.
yeah,
It's perfect
ground,
for
yeah.
a breakfast sandwich, yes.
I like the taste better because I
I
don't
do
necessarily
too.
want the snap of the link on my sandwich. I want the sausage
Okay,
to
yeah.
want the
Links on a
taste of the
sandwich is
sausage.
weird, yeah.
Well, unless it's a hot dog, which is not a sandwich.
Yeah.
hot dog.
I'm talking about traditional breakfast. Like you got 2 eggs, sunny side up, some hash browns and sausage. You know.
In the platters, it is a patty at McDonald's.
Wow.
It is not a link.
Yeah.
They're all in on patties.
Yeah. That's the only option because all they do is use the same sausage they use in their sandwiches, and then they're like, cheaper.
It comes in like a 5 feet tube, and there's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Like it even shows you on the outside of the package, like where to cut. Mm-hmm. You know, I always make them a little bit bigger and smoosh them down like I'm a short order cook at Waffle House. We got to take a break.
All right.
Let's take one. We'll come back with more corporate time right after this.